The United States of America used to be a serious country. That is long gone. All of us are grieving that, but we have to stay engaged because mass protests and mobilization of the American public is what the Constitution was written about, what it was for, putting the power in the people. And so we show what this current convicted felon, Little Taco Tits, is up to, because it's important to understand what he's doing. You can't look away from it because it has to motivate you to fight to get him out of power. Put up this post from Taco Tits. The great B-2 pilots have just landed safely in Missouri. Thank you for a job well done. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. He spells his name Donald, D-O-N-A-K-D. And then he puts comma, President of the United States. We all know he wrote this. We all know he didn't have anybody check this. This is a guy who acts as though he got a day pass from the memory wing of the nursing home center. At the top of every news cycle, every day, all day, should be this crazy dementia, cognitive decline, low IQ shit that this monster cranks out, but yet he does it with impunity. And it takes independent news sources like us to ridicule him because this is ridicule worthy and it's pathetic.
It's totally pathetic. And what I also found incredibly pathetic was that he announced the bombing not through diplomatic channels, but through his cut rate POS Truth Social post. That is how he announced that the United States of America is at war. I was just blown away by the lack of the legacy media going, this is not what we do in America. We go to Congress. We have, forums for this. We have speeches. We have lawmakers. He's on a POS social media site. It's gross.
Okay. And then it's really important because we as a country have been through a war based on lies. We have been through it and we were the liars. We were the propagandists. The United States of America was, and it was wildly unpopular. It added massive deficits, trillions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of lives lost. And some people in America care about Iraqi lives that were innocent civilians. And so now we're back in a war in the Middle East with Iran, and it's all based on lies and nothing. Pop up this headline. Rolling Stone is reporting that Trump's attacks on Iran were based on vibes, not new intel. Two administration officials tell Rolling Stone there is no intel. One of the sources say the intelligence assessments have not really changed. So let's take a little trip down memory lane here. Barack Obama had a nuclear deal with Iran. Trump, anything that Obama's name was on, he was like, oh, we're just going to be done with that. And I'm going to make a better deal. Well, guess what? Taco Tits, art of the no deal, art of the worst deal, art of I'm going to file bankruptcy and always get bailed out of everything because I'm a white blowhard. That guy didn't make another deal. And Benjamin Netanyahu has been beating the drum with lies and propaganda for 30 years. Is Iran, the Iranian regime, a great country? No, it's not. But I have to ask you this right now. What's going on in red states in the United States of America? Is that a good country? Or should we be engaged in regime changes to benefit Israel? Or should we be focused on fixing this incredibly broken system before it completely falls off the cliff?
We absolutely should be focusing on what's going on in the United States. But Donald Trump, I think you said it so beautifully earlier. Benjamin Netanyahu is saying, no other president would do this. You're the only president that would do this. You'd be a big, strong guy. And that's all it takes for Donald Trump. It discounts the fact that for 30 years, Benjamin Netanyahu has been beating this drum, and the United States presidents before Trump would not do it. And Donald Trump did this for gratification to make himself feel like a big boy on the world stage. And it is embarrassing, and it is not well thought out. And the consequences we are going to be feeling for generations, in my opinion.
At the core of this, you have an evil, smart man, Benjamin Netanyahu, that wants to wag the dog and take the eyes off of Gaza and get the West involved in this not needed war in Iran based on lies and propaganda. And he is luring in an evil, dumb man to be his cohort in it. And the American public has got to stay engaged. These are our tax dollars. The reason you can't have nice things, the reason you're going to file medical bankruptcy, the reason your wages don't go up is because of all of this shit. So stay focused and stay engaged. I know it's painful, but every generation before us has fought and won. And this is the fight of our generation right here. But let me just tell you who else is around Donald Trump right now. And it's a bunch of Christian Zionists. And what a Christian Zionist is, and I'm familiar with this. I'm not religious. I'm not a Christian, but I'm familiar with what Christian Zionism is because I live in the buckle of the Bible Belt in Oklahoma. And evangelicals believe that the Jews have to be in Israel in order for the rapture to happen, which is so incredibly anti-Semitic to tell an entire race of people, you are just playing a role in my apocalyptic fantasy before our leader, Jesus, comes down and condemns you to hell forever. That is so incredibly disrespectful. And here's the thing, Benjamin Netanyahu knows how easily it is to manipulate these people. And he doesn't believe in their apocalyptic fantasies one bit, but he knows that they will help fund him and his desire to consolidate power and never give up power in Israel. He knows this. Guess who else knows this? Who the dipshits are in America? Vladimir Putin. Who does Vladimir Putin come in to manipulate in the United States of America? The religious fanatics. So the religious fanatics in America have been organized for decades to get into positions of power. Vladimir Putin, Benjamin Netanyahu, Viktor Orban, they all know that these are the people who are the easiest to manipulate. This is the way that you can get into American politics, is these aren't intellectuals. These are rapture preppers. So Trump is surrounded by a lot of rapture preppers right now. And here, when he trotted out, he can only handle a 4-minute speech. That's all it was. When he comes out to tell the American public about bombing Iran, he could only talk for 4 minutes because that's how demented he is. But this was very interesting to me. This is what he said at the end. Play this.
And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's fucking nuts.
Wow.
That is just absolutely total bananas. And this whole hypocrisy that so much of the American public has to consume. On the one hand, we're bombing all of these things and we're killing all of these innocent civilians and we're lying to the American public about it, and we're subverting taxpayer funds that should go into investments into our own country to kill civilians abroad. And then at the same time, we're bringing God into it. God bless America. Thank you, God. We love God. I mean, that's just, day pass from the memory wing of the nursing home. I mean, this guy, this is not a leader. This is weak. See how slumped over he was? A lot more makeup because I think he's aging like a shriveled up raisin at the moment.
The thing is, I believe that was calculated to say that about God because so much of his base are the Christian nationalists, and they're big mad at him because he went in and entered a war in the Middle East.
Hang on, the Christian nationalists aren't. The Christian Zionists want this. The Christian nationalists are the rapture preppers. They're the ones who completely want this. Some of the others that aren't quite evangelical, but use them the way Vladimir Putin uses them, the way the Republican Party uses them. But they're at the core of the Christian nationalist movement is a lot of this rapture prepper.
maybe I misspoke. The America First crew that follows Trump, they're furious at him. They're coming out in droves about it. And this signals to them, God. Well, I mean, maybe God told him to do it. Maybe that was why he did it. We can give him a pass if God told him to do it.
I think you're right, Pumps. It's that Christian signaling.
It's Christian signaling. And just one thing I have to point out is Trump has put people around him that are loyal to him, not the Constitution. Yes, men in every regard. Yes, men and women in every regard. And he still cannot get the people in the intelligence community to agree with him that Iran was so close to nuclear weapons. So he did it anyway. And I mean, everybody surrounding him tells him what he wants to hear, but he couldn't get him to do it this time.
Speaking of the people surrounding Trump, here is his White House faith office on their way into work in the morning. Play the clip.
We just thank you right now, Lord, from the east, the west, the north, and the south. You will shake America with your power and your glory. We cancel every assignment of the enemy. This nation was birthed to be one nation under God, and we are standing on the soil of the White House, and we are declaring your word. Every place that our foot will trod, you will give it to us, and we are taking the land. We thank you, oh Lord. You have brought us to the kingdom for a time such as this, and this is the time. And so we declare right now from the capital of our nation that America will come back to God. We will come back to God. Nothing will stop this nation. And we speak right now by the authority of heaven. You told us to bring heaven to earth. Heaven is being released through your people right now.
All right. You could hear some mild tongue talking by some people around there, but y'all know I go after religion hard on this show. And the reason is because we live in a very religious state. These people do not believe in the separation of church and state. They want what Iran has. They want to have a religious dictatorship like that. Look at Project 2025. Look at this shit. That is religious fanaticism. And the United States of America wants any politician right now, any American politician, Republican, Democrat, Independent, that says Iran is a religious fanatic regime, look at this video and then tell me how the fuck we're supposed to go over there and preach to them about American democracy and separation of church and state when these whack jobs go to work every day at the White House. This is absolutely insane, and it is a cancer at the epicenter of the Republican Party. It is a cancer at the epicenter of the MAGA movement, and it is the cancer to which our adversaries, it is the conduit to which they come in and manipulate the religious rubes to institute a coup against people who very much want to live in a secular society. If you're a Christian-like person and you want to pray and Jesus gives you a sense of serenity, great, swing for the fences. I will fight for your right to have that. But I will not, under any circumstances, stand for a government that employs people that do this shit on government property. That is cult, whacked out bullshit. And I'm going to tell you this much. All of the Christians that I know around Oklahoma City that are evangelicals, they have a very hard time at the end of the day judging this. They have a very hard time because they're so deeply indoctrinated that any form of critical thinking is blasphemy and that's going to hurt God's feelings, and they're letting Satan win. These people believe in spiritual warfare, and the reason they want to support Iran is they will do anything to support the Jews, not because they see them as whole people that are capable of forming their own ideas, their own government, and support them in that sense. They support them because they're a ploy in their apocalyptic fantasy. And the people high up, Benjamin Netanyahu, they fucking know that. They know that they're idiotic, religious, fanatic rubes that help them keep the money flowing in so that they can bomb shit with impunity.
Yeah, and I look at that and I think exactly what you were saying. There's not that much daylight between what they're trying to do through Project 2025 and all the other regimes that we think are so bad as Americans, because they take away women's rights. They take away brown and black people's rights. They're homophobic. And now you have a country in the United States of America that is ripping people off the streets that are minorities and immigrants and sending them to concentration camps. So there's just not a lot of daylight between those two.
There's just not a lot of daylight at all, especially when Stephen Miller says American children will be taught to love the United States of America. That is forced nationalism. We're supposed to be a country of free thought. But anytime you see religious fanatics like this involved in government, and then those people want to go preach to the world about the dangers of theocracies, are you kidding me? Do you think we're fucking stupid? I know that a lot of people in the United States are, but those of us who are marching, those of us who are staying engaged in this are not dipshits. And we're going to fight, and this is our generation's fight. But I just want to leave you all with one last thing. While we are bombing Iran with Israel based on LIES, lies, total lies and propaganda, Trump, who is America first, who cares so much about national security, this is who he puts in charge of domestic terrorism. Pop this up. Trump appoints 22-year-old ex-gardener and grocery store assistant to lead the U.S. terror prevention. So all of this Make America Great Again is total bullshit. And it just reminds me of something that my mother taught me a very long time ago. When somebody speaks all the time about their faith and can't shut the fuck up about it, they're the problem. They're masking something. When somebody speaks all the time about their nationalism, MAGA, Make America Great Again, it's always a diversion. And so listen to what people say. Donald Trump is just gaslighting. A lot of these psycho Christians that are supporting him, trying to link making people refugees and ignoring human suffering, while at the same time, I want to thank God. Thanks, big guy. It's all bullshit. The biggest way in your personal life and in government to find the biggest freaks, whoever preaches the loudest is always the most fucked up. And right now, it's the United States of America. We need to clean up our own house. We need to get our politicians to quit taking money from lobbyists. We need to have intelligence officials that vet information from a known liar, Benjamin Netanyahu, a known decades-long liar. We believe his propaganda after we already wasted so much money in Iraq based on a lie. And we were the propagandizers. Wake up, America. Wake up. All right, that's all we have for today, and we'll see you all later.